What's up everyone, it's Jambors, new video, and today I would like to stress out an issue or a topic which is about who will win Eurovision. But it won't be about a certain country, my top 10, or who will kind of win, but let's get an overall feeling what might happen. Because this Eurovision, and I'm telling this every single time, the quality of the acts, not the whole package, because we didn't see staging set and so on and so on and so forth. Everything can change, but music, I think it's the year which is like, alright, like nothing special, like a very very weak year musically, and therefore very interesting one, because I think it will be extremely interesting to see the results. Of course, this is a pure speculation. I might be completely wrong, and that's fine. I'm taking this in, and we can speculate in the comments below. But this is a speculation, but this is my thought so far. In such a year where everybody will eventually like anything, and I was talking to some non-Eurovision fans, like I'm not this crazy Eurovision fan myself, kind of. I'm really talking and taking Eurovision more from producer's perspective and director's perspective, let's say, and a person who cares about Eurovision from a completely different point of view than having this massive event just as a fun, finally. But from how it's really beginning, from searching for the artist till the direction of the act, till something, result and planning the next year, and and so like feedbacks and so on and so forth. And from this year's perspective, I would say it's extremely hard to break anything. I, for example, think that the odds are absolutely wrong, and they might be right. For example, who's winning right now? Sweden has extremely big chance, but we will get to it a little bit, but not from the perspective I'm fan or something like that. The thing is that in a year where people at Eurovision bubble has something to say, but I saw like so many rankings, they are kind of different to each other, pretty much actually, especially in like what's in top 10. Of course, is Sweden, Austria, they are in the top positions, but then also what I would like to say is that from the non-Eurovision bubble, completely different artists, completely different songs are taken serious, like absolutely. Like, for example, I was hearing a podcast where some non-Eurovision fans were saying like the Australia, it's great, Austria is not, Sweden so, and so on and so forth. And I think this might be extremely interesting year from the way like who's going to win, how the positions will be, because I don't really believe in the odds. I don't. The reason is that we have a bunch of songs of a similar quality. Of course, somebody likes more like jokish things or funny things, somebody likes up-tempo songs, somebody likes ballads, somebody likes folkish music, and so on. Like, the variety is huge, but every song kind of misses something, like missing something, right? There's nothing, or maybe you would do, but I would say that even the best song, there is something, like, for example, from my professional standpoint, Austrian song, by the production, the studio version of the song, it's superior to the rest. Such song in a strong year like 2022, for example, would be a mid-table, because it would be good, but not, there were better things by production value, let's say. Okay, but this might be a jury thing, right? But there are another several things which might be a jury thing, because the quality difference then also in the performance might not be that crazily huge. And also I think this comes for the public votes, because you have Kai from Sweden, which is now like, this is the public voting thing. It might be also a little bit jury voting thing, who knows? But it also might not be the winner of the public, because there are several other songs which they are competing with. Of course, they probably will deliver amazing staging and so on, so the chances for such a thing are huge, but they are not alone there, and they are not alone from another point of view. So this will maybe create something that somebody completely in the middle, for example, like Czechia, might be like receiving a nice amount of points from public, nice amount of points from juries, boom, that's it. But who knows, maybe this is not really a public voting song, but maybe also it's not a really jury voting song, because Adonis can really sing, he can dance everything, but the song screams to Eurovision and authenticity is lost. And I actually think that this year's Eurovision will be very special in the way that the most authentic things will take the race, because I think for general audience the feeling they will have, it's much more important than a crazily great staging. Or the crazily great staging might be the one which will support this authenticity of the artist, like, and it might be the up-tempo song, it might be a joke song, whatever it is. But I don't think we should believe in the odds. I also was watching the OGAI, I never know, OGAE rankings. It's like, okay, but I don't believe it will even happen this way. Like, even though I don't anyhow believe that what's going on in the Eurovision bubble, it's close to reality, because, and that's extremely important point, that we are looking on it as our beloved Eurovision, or you are looking at it as beloved Eurovision. But for most people, the Eurovision, how it's a little bit sliding down and the quality is a little bit sliding down, it's just an event, you know? It's starting to be just this kind of event, and so those songs are Eurovision, those numbers for Eurovision songs are really not getting somewhere extremely high. Starting last season, this season it's even worse. And there is no songs which has a potential to really grow extremely hard, like high. Might be, but they will watch it. It's like, what to choose? And even in the family, everybody will be voting completely different stuff, in my opinion. And this will take a lot of public voting points across the whole board. So maybe the differences between the songs will be very, very short. And I think this will count also for juries, because they have, after all, many things to choose from. For example, this year there are not so many artists who cannot really sing. So this is not a thing, you know, to really cope, like who sings a little bit better, which voice we like a little bit better. But if I will be very strict, I would say, but jurors shouldn't really connect to who's the best singer, kind of, because what it means, right? This is like somebody has this register and sing it perfectly, and somebody has this kind of registers and sing them perfectly. And all of them are singing great. Like most of the artists this year, and I think this is a big plus this year, that there are not so many who really has this issue. And therefore this will make it harder for juries to choose from. And with the songs, because they are kind of more average, and the juries shouldn't look that much in the stagings, but they need to look at performing, and this is important. And the staging is a combination of all the factors, so who will also look better there somehow will get more points. So this is of course important also for them, but from a little bit different point of view than this shocky one, I want to be at Eurovision. The other factor might be the thing that might be the running order, but also we shouldn't forget that the juries are voting based on the rehearsal, like jury rehearsal performance or jury show performance, so we will never see it. It might be a completely different result. So for example, let's say Sisal, if she will make it to the finals, will have brilliant performance for the final, grand final, what we are all seeing, but maybe she would have not really such a good one with the juries. And some producers, especially some producers, told that there is no difference between those two things. But come on, I was there, I've been there, and it's a huge difference how the artists are performing in the jury and with the public. Or the best ones can make both perfect. The ones which are sure in one of those categories better, like for example the ones which prefer to be judged by professionals because they are sure they are doing a good job, they will do amazing performance there because they are sure of their skills, the musicality, the performing. But they, for example, know they don't have such a great public voting song. They are aware of it. Of course, they are human. They know, most of them, they are very down to earth. So this kind of, put them into a little bit of stress, which translates somehow to TV, even you don't know it. But it makes a little difference. And vice versa. Was there with the artist whose jury performance was really lacking the energy. He was stressed because somebody who understands the skills, was judging him, and he wasn't sure of singing and those little things, which really adapted there. And I think in his mind also was that the juries will not already those things, and all the artists has their own war in their head, own fight which they need to do. And then of course the artist was absolutely perfect in the grand final for the public vote, because that was the thing, and I'm very curious who will be this year the perfection in both, and might be also more artists as well, again, because there are not so extremely huge differences between them. This will be extremely fascinating for me to watch, that maybe we will see a lot of 12s for various countries, or as it was my completely previous theory, I think even before this Eurovision started, that because of the rules supported more public voting songs, then the jury winners will be now more often, absolutely more often, or even 100% all the time until the rule will change, and also the adaptation to the rule will change, because of course nothing will happen like that. And that the juries will, for example, choose Austria. Like if I just choose from studio versions Austria 100% number one, like from really professional jury, not the juror who would like to please fans or something. No, like jurying, because this is a superior song to all of them among. But this is talking about studio versions, the performance, the sureness, because this is the very important factor even for jurors. Not just how you sing, but how you sell it, how you sell your performance. Extremely important skill. And there are so many songs which are pleasing kind of like both parts, but either of them don't really please them perfectly. So might be a very surpriseful winner. Maybe somebody who's now not even qualifying, in the odds. Like I know the chance, the probability, it may be low, but we shouldn't underestimate also sentiment of public, and also some kind of pointing out from jury something which is different from the rest. Maybe different from the Eurovision itself, something with bigger potential, and might be extremely interesting if this point is right. So don't stress out on social media how it's possible that this is in the odds like there and this is in the odds like this. I don't think it's really, really relevant, because also for the odds, for those betting companies, it's extremely hard to predict what's gonna happen, because, for example, you have Latvia there, which missing something again also, but it's the really super folk song, and those are doing very nice at Eurovision in general. So why it shouldn't qualify, and so on and so forth. And if this qualifies, who will not on their behalf, on their behalf. So I think we will have a little bit different qualificants this year than the odds predict. I also think that the countries who are absolutely sure of qualifying, I don't think they should be that sure of qualifications. No one actually, almost no one. And about how it will end up, also it might be extreme big surprise. And I'm curious if there will be a surprise. So no Kai, no France, no Austria, or no one in top 10 would make the winner of Eurovision. Who it might be if not the ones who are in the odds now in the top 10. Who would you think? Write me in the comments below. I'm extremely curious. I actually don't know who I would point out, because there is always a catch. This is more public, but definitely not the jury, and vice versa. But it also might happen that the lowest points scored ever at Eurovision will win Eurovision, in my opinion. And as I said in the beginning, I might be completely wrong. So write me in the comments below, who do you think will win unless those top 10 now? Who would you like to win? If you agree with me or not, how many points actually might have a winner? Maybe we can do some tips underneath. I'm very curious, what do you think? Or if you think I'm absolutely wrong and off reality. It's your right. I don't question it. Like, I will discuss probably, but you have completely right to have any opinion anyway. It's always welcome. And yeah, that's it. Thank you for watching. Bye.